My name is Lucy Mukami Mwai, and I am the Managing Director and founder of My Little Dancers Services Limited. It is also the pioneer of the Dance for Wellness program, that is a social welfare program to be sent out to all Kenyans, by Kenyans. I did a degree in medical laboratory sciences. I was among the first batch to do that degree in this country. It was just when they had decided to launch a strong degree and they say, you're learning what the doctors are learning. So when I did the course, I was very passionate towards researching and in the field of either two things. One, hematology, because I wanted to be one of the people who help find the cure for cancer. That's hematology. And secondly, forensics, because I found it extremely intriguing to go to a scene of crime and figure out what exactly happened here. And because we did medical forensics, I could go ahead and major in that. But the country hadn't thought about how to create a regulatory system for us. The one that existed was one for the certificates or the, while they were trying to decide what would happen, they decided to take us through some rigorous exams. And I will not shy away from saying that there was so much corruption. A lot of corruption that regardless of whether you have passed, if you did not pay up a little something, you will not get certified and you will not get your certificate. And we all knew. So again, as I mentioned, I was a believer, so I didn't want to bribe. So I did not. Therefore, I did not get my certificate to practice. And that is how I never ended up practicing. After doing exams for like 3-4 years in a row and failing each time, without understanding, to be honest, I didn't understand that all I needed to do was part with a few shillings. My passion for dance started before my medical degree. I have been in operation since 2010. That's when I started training. And because I love little ones, because I believe that's where our future is edged on, I started by focusing on the young learners. So I've been doing that since the year 2010 in terms of teaching. And I've also been recruiting teachers to come on board and help me spread the word of, classical art, classical ballet. I also teach in schools. So we found our way to infiltrating our local schools and have them appreciate the art form. And in the process, break the stigma or the notion that ballet is for the rich. So I registered the company, My Little Dancer Services Limited, years after. But I did it because I was very, very passionate about wanting my fellow Kenyans to know that they can do it. And I wanted it to live beyond me. It is not in my name. The company it's not called Lucy's Ballet Studio because I didn't want it to. I wanted it to live beyond me. And it started by training the younger ones because I thought the older ones we already have a certain mentality. It will be very difficult to train an old dog new tricks. As I said, we do not appreciate free things. So you must always charge a fee so that you can also get admiration from the students who can see that you can earn a living from this. Otherwise, you're showing them, by giving it for free, you are letting them think that they can work and not get paid for it. So why are you doing it? So I do charge. But this is treated as a co-curricular activity. It is not a mainstream activity, which means it is voluntary for the parents who feel that they would like their children to learn classical ballet, then they sign them up. For those who feel that they would like them to learn another co-curricular activity, they sign them up at a small fee. Of course, the desire is to mix all schools. They're both private but you see at this point you don't have a say as to whether a public school will accept you and pay for the service and whether a private school will accept you. So whatever proportion you get what you get. I was teaching a 5-year-old, darling, beautiful girl. And I went up to their house. And all I did was demonstrate. I demonstrated what not to do, how to bend my knees. And I bent my knees and I just fell apart. Everything just fell out of place. My knees, my patellas took off place. I tore my meniscus, I fractured my femur. My body was crumbling and I did not know. Now, for a person who has been active all their lives and whose bread and butter is movement, guess what that did to my mental state? Now, suddenly I'm in hospital. In fact, the doctor who received me at the hospital asked whether I was attempting suicide, and I jumped off a building because of the extent of injury that I had. All I did was bend my knees. So my body has been crying for help for some time, but I thought I'm okay. I'm just a little tired. Now, he believed that I was not a suicide case because my client was there with me. In fact, my client was the one who called an ambulance. So they knew I was not attempting suicide. And they're the ones who talked to the doctor because I wasn't paying. In fact, when I was at the house, I had to put my knee back in because I saw the ambulance is taking too long. They're gonna take 40 minutes to get to me. By then, the medical knowledge I have tells me my blood flow is cut off from certain areas. I may lose function of my limbs. I cannot risk that. I bit my lip and I put my knees back in socket. Worst pain of my life. But over and above that, the reason why I would have the motivation is I have community around me, my family, my friends. I also had my faith. So that kept me afloat. And I'd be like, well, still got my purpose on earth. I ain't dying, not today. I'm good. I'm gonna do this. I'll be back on my feet. I'm creating a hub for them to explore, a safe space for them to belong in, because we don't have that. We all want, wewe umesomea nini? Umesomea hii, umesomea hii. Then you're limiting people's expression, but you're not meant to limit. It is through this that you get innovation. And that is why I set up a studio. So it is a Kenyan-owned, African-owned studio, ballet studio, that opens its doors to everybody, both Kenyans and non-Kenyans.